Go walking after midnight in the moonlight. Song's been in my head all goddamn week.
Man, look at that foliage.
I don't like the look of this place.
Look at that campfire
I know what you mean.
reflecting the
Just stay
Sky
alert.
Ranger's downblast.
Weaver already has a head start on us.
Wow, this map looks really bright on your machine. Good lord.
Another drinking water thingy. And you could turn the radio
Ah.
off, but why would you?
Well,
Carter's so
it's giving
excited
Carter
he's
convulsions. I'd turn it off at that point. No, don't turn it off. It's one of the few licensed pieces of music that actually makes it into the game, you know, in an obvious section. So this map is oh my god, what? Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna have
Weaver,
to do
come
another
in.
one.
What's your position?
I'm gonna have to do another one for this level, man.
Damn it, Angela.
This is my fight, Carter. You don't want to be here.
Can't do that. Falk's orders.
Screw the old man's orders.
We need Axis alive. We can't recover the data the Whitecoats need if his connection to Mosaic is severed.
Alive!
Yeah, track him down
I know
alive.
how valuable he is.
So you won't kill him before we get what we need, right, Agent Weaver? Weaver? Angela.
A lot of dark shit going on around
So-
that cabin.
Damn.
Welcome to the map formerly known as Lab. This map survived all the way from the 2010 version of the game into this version of the game. It was changed substantially, and the multiple reworks were not very good on the personnel that worked on it. Let's put it that way. This is one of the maps also that has lots of interstitial spaces put into it, which is a shame because I would have liked to see them in a lot of other maps, but we just didn't have time to do it. This map
is a little,
was... What?
Oh, sorry. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
a little
little.
optional side area you can come and explore.
It's one of these
Doesn't
little
look like
interstitial spaces.
Aliens killed this guy.
And enemies spawn when you go in there!
I wish.
So this is like the treehouse in Signal, where if you go in here to grab the stuff, and it's actually a pretty good thing to grab, the additional enemies spawn outside. So if you're really going for max XP, you do need to hit this area, because it spawns a couple drones outside for you to kill. So this map in the 2010 version was called Scout Camp, and it was, as Falk says in his line in the base, it actually was an abandoned camping area. I believe it was called like Little Chief's Camping, and it was situated around a lake. And you ran around in that area. Oh god. Well,
Ouch.
that looks
Plasma
really
pistol
painful.
packs a punch.
That guy looks like he's in severe pain.
Well, he's probably dead, so not anymore, but he would be.
I'm not sure he's dead.
Well, he does. He is hitting his head against the log there, so.
This building was
I
in the
don't know.
2010 version of the game. Actually, you went through that building in the 2010
Yeah,
version.
it seemed like something that you
It's the
earlier
camp
might have had the
office. It
option
had
to
an
go
interior. It still has that interior, I think.
think
in
it's
the shipping
coming from
version,
up
you just
there.
can't access it.
to.
So, yeah, the Scout Camp version was situated around a lake. You'd fart around in the Scout Camp for a while, fight a bunch of aliens, and then you...
Chainsaw! Oh, I wish I could do something
yeah.
with that.
I really wish.
See?
I really wish.
Hybridize that with some
Dumping.
plasma
I
tech or
don't know.
something.
Something.
Create the Lancer before it's time.
Do it.
Oh my god, that would have been cool as hell.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when, you know, you have a lot of people who really just think that Melee is bad and terrible and dumb idea.
Well, you know me, I'm all about Melee.
I think the majority of people that play games are all about Melee because it's quite literally the most visceral action you can take. You walk right up to a dude and put your
Oh yeah, and
fist
check it
in
out.
his face. Yeah, check it out.
You can do this at any point in any battle.
And it's extremely useful.
I'm getting chewed up!
Like, for
Gives you a
example,
little
if you didn't
rundown on
know...
all the enemies.
Yeah, if you didn't know that drones exploded when they died, that would tell you. If you didn't know that elites charged when they were at low health, that scan will tell you that as well.
Focus on that one.
So, there's that. This map was one of the maps where people consciously tried to play up the creepy, like, sort of ethnic cleansing aspect of the outsider invasion.
One way to get to the bottom of this. Come
Yeah,
on,
speaking
agents.
of which,
I don't see any way around it. Come on, and watch your step. Oh, God.
Yep, we're walking over a lake full of corpses. Failed sleepwalkers is what they are, technically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Weaver.
Check out those screen space
What are they
reflections
doing
on the
here?
water,
So
baby.
you found the disposal site, huh? I told you didn't want to be here.
Disposal site is a
I'm
rather
here for
kind
the
way
same
of putting it.
reason
I'd
you
call it
are.
a mass grave.
To stop
but, you know.
Axis.
That's not who I'm looking for right now.
It's a very clinical term.
Yeah, so, yes, in case anyone was wondering, the Outsiders have been effectively mass killing humans and throwing them into mass graves. And
Jesus.
cutting deer in half
Remember on this
because
poor beast.
fuck deer, that's why.
Yeah, there's a bunch of mutilated animals throughout this level that aren't
Yeah.
ever really explained.
It's just a sort of generic UFO references and, cattle mutilations and stuff, but
Right,
it also
I
is
gotcha.
to show that the Outsiders are sadistic shitbags.
There you go.
In general. They're not nice.
Been draining this entire lake.
Where are they taking all the water?
I'm more interested in why they're doing it at all.
Attack! Attacking
Alright.
your target!
Always prioritize drones.
That's your target. It's
Yup.
mine.
They're fast.
Get those
They're
stems
jerks.
ready.
This particular area was hell on earth to make performant on the PlayStation 3. It has a ton of meshes, it has a long sight distance, and it has a lot of enemies by the standards of most encounters in the game.
Weaken that armor.
This map in general, in fact, was hell to get performing on the PlayStation. But, if you were playing the PlayStation version, you would notice a pretty much constant 29 or 28 frames a second. We were not able to get full 30, but all things considered, it turned out very, very well. If you're going to play one of the console versions of the game, I would actually recommend the PS3 version over the Xbox 360 version because the 360 version has severely reduced texture resolution due to memory limitations.
I'm at their pumping
I
station.
punched that muton
Where
so
are
hard
you?
he disappeared.
Yeah,
But I'd expect resistance.
part of the performance stuff that we had to do, and that was sort of passed on to the PC version because the
Despawn
PC
stuff as soon as it
Yes.
wasn't necessary.
Yes, there was a lot of custom kismet done in this level to specifically blow out and unload the spawners and enemies at the very, very second we could possibly do it.
Right.
A lot of that stuff
And-
ended up being carried over to the PC version because the PC-specific branch was taken from the final console branches because of console serve
okay.
requirements.
I see.
Yeah.
And if you didn't pick up the gunner pack earlier, that's where you get its redundant copy.
Yes, so every...
God damn it.
Yeah, they're not too smart about...
Not stepping on explosives.
they don't path around mines. The reason they don't path around mines is because I believe they use...
Similar AI to the enemy?
Yes, they use very, very similar AI to the Outsiders. They use generic... We basically have generic AI for every normal
Angela,
biped
there's
enemy.
a barrier. How do we get through?
Oh, hey,
Ooh.
yeah. Oh, yeah, new grenades.
I'll take those.
So welcome to the sticky grenade. The sticky grenade...
You blew it up?
I wasn't expecting guests, Carter.
It
Angela's
performs...
surprisingly violent.
Want you to override
Oh,
the
yeah.
system.
Be interested to see who you tell to do this.
I'll put the scientist on it.
I'm on it.
Smart.
I want my rocket turret.
Well, he is Technician O'Brien, after all.
This is weird. Sometimes the range thing comes up with movement, sometimes it doesn't.
Regroup, fellas.
I'm here now.
The range thing, I believe, only comes up in combat? Although I could be wrong about that.
Sometimes I can tell a guy to move clear across the map, but that time I had a weird limit to it. I don't know.
I believe in combat we artificially limit the movement distance.
And this is kind of weird what happens right here. Watch what the drones do.
Take it out. In my sight.
They all just hug the rocket turret,
What's the status?
which eats them alive.
Is that rocket turret lifted?
It was, but they went on top of it, so it had nowhere to go.
So they're hugging it because they can move. They're hugging it because it's lifted, so technically it's an air object. And because it's technically an air object, they're using the air pathing, which means that they can get as close to it as they want to. They're also trying to flank your agent there, so it's likely that lifting that turret at that exact moment blocked the air path nodes in that area, which forced them to stay in place because they kept trying to flank the engineer.
Which
And-
worked out surprisingly well, because effectively
Yes.
they kamikazed it, and all
Yes.
their little
You lost
cores
the turret,
blew up my turret.
but you lost the turret, but the engineer's okay, and he's now over on the other side, and you don't have to worry about those drones anymore. So, I'd say all in all, pretty successful.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Actually, and you mentioned before, I do notice that there is less kick on the stabilizer, or on the...
Yeah, you seem to be a little more accurate with the blast launcher.
Saved my life.
I didn't notice him. Oh, God.
And then you do that.
He's okay.
Oh, man. He's fine. Well, God bless XCOM technology.
There is friendly fire, but...
It's quite limited. But it's entirely possible to callously murder all of your... Wow, that's overkill. To callously murder all of your agents.
I had some ammo.
Yeah. Here you go. Breathe in the mist.
They're all dead. Let's get moving. God!
Ouch.
Alright, and Quartermaster leveled up. What do I give him? Let's see.
Let's find out. Okay, we get better stims or...
Better stims or make him tougher when he's on a revive. Whatever. I go with stims
Yeah,
just because...
that's... I would say
honestly,
that's
the agents are almost invulnerable when they're reviving anyway.
Yes.
I think that just makes them invulnerable while they're running to the revive.
Yes,
which
it
is-
does. Yeah,
which
while
if
they're
you're
reviving
playing-
you, they can't take
Yeah.
damage. But this
And-
basically is from the moment you call them over to the revive, they stop taking damage. Which can
Yeah.
be very helpful if they're like halfway across the map and you're in a tough spot, which is surprisingly easy to do later in this map,
Will,
but
are you there?
it's still not nearly.
But honestly, if your guys are
Running
going
here.
down a lot, you're
Get
not
the
playing
feeling
very
it's
well
been around
anyway.
for a
So.
while.
Yeah,
It has.
yeah.
Much longer than I thought.
What makes you so sure?
So we've transferred into the caves here. These caves were always part of the map. They used to be in the scout camp iteration, and in some previous iterations, they weren't outside or tech-infested caves. They were just generic caves. This room had not changed for 2 years when the game had released. This
like
room
those
was
one
one
or
of the
twos.
first places where the outsider architecture was prototyped. This was one of the first tear-out pretty corner maps that the artists made,
Ah.
and it has survived pretty much exactly the same
Who is he,
from
Angela?
that point
His
until
name was
release.
Pete.
Your brother.
Yes. Axis took him from me. I came here to take him back.
And this is one of the conversations in the game that I like the best,
Is he
actually.
still in there?
I don't know. The bastards are still using him. So it's possible
Using him?
to develop the infection.
So that's what this place is. They're building the disease from live human test subjects. Your brother.
Pete was one of the early test subjects. This facility has been here for a long time. Far longer than I thought.
Then it's time we shut it down.
This is one of the weird time
What are
discrepancies,
Pete's
too.
chances?
I don't know. At this point, he's been a sleepwalker for years. But I won't let him disappear forever.
He's lucky to have you as a sister.
No one ever
I'm a
really
year
brought
younger
up
than him.
that,
He was the one
having
schoolboys always
sleepwalkers
picked on.
for
Until I got
years
old enough
before
to
the
draw
invasion
punchlines.
is,
Axis won't be so lucky.
it doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
What makes you so sure that
Well, he
Axis
could have
is
been
here?
abducted
This is
early
where they
and then they
perfected
spent the
the
time just
toxin.
developing.
And it's still being distributed across the western seaboard.
Yes,
Too important for
but
you to just
things
leave.
we will learn later
Exactly.
will
I've been
show us
tracking
that
Axis for
that's
years, before I even
implausible
knew
at
what he
best.
was. If he has one flaw, it's his pride, both in his work.
Yeah, this whole
and
like
in his
tracking
people.
Axis for years
He
thing
won't turn
also
tail now.
doesn't make any sense, which is.
Why did you run? Why not just let me and my team
And this is
take
one of the
care
weird, more
Axis?
tone-deaf questions
You
Carter
can't know.
asks.
Even if you manage to capture Axis,
Why do you
I'd
think
never
she
know what
came?
happened to Pete.
You could have told me.
No, I couldn't have.
I like this.
Carter,
Yeah.
I'm a woman playing a man's game. I can't afford the appearance of emotions.
That's a nice touch.
There was a conscious
shut this
effort by the
place down.
writers
It'd be
and
simple if we work together.
other
I'll
people who
stay
are involved
here
with the narrative
and find where they're keeping Pete
to
and where
play
Axis is
Angela
hiding himself.
straight
Just don't
as
go
a
running
character
off
who
again.
recognizes
I've been
her
waiting a
own
long time for
implausibility
this day.
in these
Trust me,
circumstances.
Carter. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh yeah,
And
I
think
love
it
her.
worked
She,
out well.
yeah, she's never less than a hard ass, but she's got great motivations and she works really well.
On the art
I'll be
side,
checking
I'm
their systems
very
from
happy
here.
we finally
Let us know
found
when you
a
find
look
them.
model for her
Believe me,
that accurately
you'll know.
reflects her demeanor and her role.
The
A lot of the
pantsuit,
earlier stuff we had for her was not very appropriate.
This room's a little weird.
Test subjects.
Yeah, that was one of the first alien assets we made, actually, that weird torture bed thing.
It's more like a radiator or something.
Yeah, there was a weird obsession with radiator-type widgets in the early Outsider architecture design process. You could see it in those trim pieces around the door there.
What happened to them?
What
We just
beds?
saw them. When the test was complete, they were just dumped outside.
We're gonna make them pay. Right, Commander?
Oh, yes. I promise.
And Angela's conveniently left us a resupply widget.
Not that I need it, but...
Yeah, be prepared for some of the coolest alien architecture by this point in the game.
Yeah, and as with all video games, whenever you have a choice, go the optional route.
Yes.
Enjoy your
Always.
last minutes, you son of a bitch.
It would be a tragedy to miss the optional areas of this map.
Goddamn heart.
Angela, alive!
After we interrogate him. After.
Carter is the one I wish to speak with. William Carter is the one who can see reason.
Hey, it's Johnny No Skin!
not
What's
here to
up,
chat.
bro? How you doing? This guy is my
Hold on,
favorite.
Angela.
I love Johnny
We'll
No
shut him
Skin.
up for good.
On the off chance that he was still alive, I put him out.
And here's the
Christ. Look,
failed
underneath us.
sleepwalker
Hell. People heard it
blob
up in Pam
spoogatorium or
Fuck
whatever the fuck. There was never really an
They're not
explanation
people
for this
anymore.
room except
Not
just
really.
it's
The only
creepy.
way to help
This
them
is
is to shut
fucked
this
up.
facility
Holy
down
goddamn
once and
shit!
for all.
Kill all the outsiders.
Right.
And it does the job pretty damn well, honestly. I really like this room. It's creepy. It's quite creepy.
Thousands have been spared the horrors of war.
And here's Axis playing the justification game, just like every major villain in any game does.
And that's quite a nice backpack, too.
It is. It is indeed. Hey, a wandering patrol.
Optional area, patrols always spawn in.
Nah.
One thing that's annoying about the backpacks is they never tell you, like, what the difference on the range between the tactician pack and this one is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't like...
yeah,
the
that's
tactician
true,
pack
they don't.
already extends the range. I'm assuming this one would extend it further because
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't have
does.
the other advantages.
Yes, it does.
But it's hard to compare the hard numbers when you're playing.
Jeez.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can test it out in like missions and stuff, but you know, there's no
Yeah,
direct
we-
comparison.
Oh, man, you know, I have access to the files. I could see if I can find the numbers. If
That's
people have
alright.
if people have statistic requests too, I would be happy to fulfill those because I still have access to all the files from Phantoms development builds and stuff.
I like how my squad mates already know what these enemies that they've never seen before are called.
What did they say?
Phantoms.
On my way.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, whatever.
Spoiler: we're fighting phantoms here.
Okay, these guys were new enemy, new description. These guys were known as flankers in development.
Focus on that target.
Yeah,
I've completely spoiled how they fight.
they're a bit fragile, but they
are
are
super
pretty
fragile.
dangerous.
They're
You'll
super
see- you'll
fragile.
see
But
one of them kind of messes me up a little bit later. You'll see.
Their sole goal is to find the cover. So look at the cover you're taking, and then find a cover spot on the map that is flanking you, and then go there as fast as possible while doing something that you'll see in a minute. They are very good at this. I specifically requested that they get shotguns at some point later in the game, and then rescinded my request once I actually fought them because you don't want these guys with shotguns. It's kind of ridiculous. If these dudes have shotguns, they're capable of one-shot killing you. Even in the later stages of the game, they will kill you instantly. If they
you
flank
can
you,
see how-
get close enough to you, and then shotgun you, you die.
Oh, check this out. Hang on. Wait.
Are you gonna do it?
Wait
Yep,
for
yep,
it,
you
wait
are.
for it. Wait. Right on the crotch.
Wait, what the? Boom.
Sticky grenade's pretty fun.
That's your target. This one's mine. Focus
And
on that
you can
target.
see how having the plasma pistol at this point in the game makes a lot of these fights a lot easier.
Yes, it does. It significantly facilitates getting rid of snipers and the like, and really, well, anyone who's vulnerable to a headshot. Or vulnerable in general.
Get 2 shots to the drones, you can actually hit them. Yeah, it's not a hit scan weapon. It does have a projectile.
Yeah, it does have a projectile, but the travel time is negligible.
Yeah, it's very small, but occasionally when I'm trying to hit a drone, it plays into it.
Come on.
And here, yeah, you mentioned before that those phantoms are flanking. I mean, they come in from the side, but they are fucking my dudes up.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, the phantoms, if they get close to you, it gets pretty rough for your guys in a hurry.
Yeah, this guy.
I got you, Commander.
Yeah, he's giving me some trouble here.
Target confirmed. Keep going. We're getting through. You're all set.
Let's try this again.
But, plasma pistol. There we go.
Yep, this is a good encounter to get introduced to the flankers in, because you'll often play Ring Around the Rosie with them. You'll end up in cover where they started, and they'll end up in cover where you started if you play the flanking game with them. And now that we have the heavy plasma pistol, the sectoids start dropping it.
Yeah, so you're never short on ammo.
Yeah. Welcome to that fight originally had a Titan in it.
How would that fit?
The roof was a little higher, but it was
Okay.
It's gross in the sense that it was usually a player wipe at that point.
Yeah.
Found him. I finally found my brother.
Going in.
This fight is a good one too. This is one of the fights that really should teach you at least to periodically pop tac mode, even if you're not doing anything in it, and to see
Just to
what's
see
going on
where
the map,
everything
right?
is. I was quite proud of how I handled my dudes right here.
Okay,
Flame,
yeah, see, there you
shield,
go.
tear 'em up.
That's exactly. Very good. Yeah, and you have the tech commander. One guy's on the tech commander. You should really have both of them, though, because you don't want him to set anything up in this encounter. It gets much more difficult if you let him set anything up.
Rocket turret. Over there. Rocket turret deployed.
We offer you freedom. We offer you the comfort and the peace.
And here you can see the rocket turret kind of having trouble hitting guys.
Yeah. I believe the rocket turret also has a special behavior for enemies that are in cover. It doesn't really shoot at them much. So...
Which is fine, it wouldn't hit them anyway.
By the way, the line that agent just said, "This is a bad place, boss," is a specific line that comes out when the agent is flanked by an enemy.
Oh man, he says it an awful lot.
Yes.
I'm bad at this.
Yes. If an agent... It's helpful, though, because it means one of your agents at least thinks he's vulnerable. So it's usually worth popping tech mode as soon as they say it, just to see what's going on. Occasionally, though, it's something where it's like, technically he's flanked, but in practice, it's not a problem.
Right. I'm doing exactly what you said. Like, the combat bongos are still going on, so where's the dudes?
Combat bongos! Yeah, this is one of the
Thank you,
encounters
sir.
that introduces you to what will become standard for the rest of the game, which is often you will have a wave of enemies spawning from the location you entered the room, which usually will catch you by surprise if you're not paying attention, and it will be extremely wow. That's okay.
Yeah,
It didn't even
I tell you, sectoids are more dangerous than I think. I always think, oh, it's just sectoids, and then they
sectoids
put
and
me
heavy
down.
plasma pistols are not a joke.
These ones have armor.
And that one dodged my rockets too.
It's the stairs.
Kind of mess with the splash damage. Splorp.
Get all that mustard all over your face. Yeah, the stairs.
Take down its defenses.
I believe we don't have separate collision geometry and visual geometry for almost any static meshes in the game. So often what you see is what you get, and to make smooth movement, there's just not special case, but there's just specific locomotion code. So what that means is that those little divots on the edge of the stairs can sometimes mess with stuff a little bit.
Right.
But
And
it's better
you might
than the
have
old
noticed
turret.
at the beginning of the fight, I put the shield on the turret. I do that a lot because the turrets get crazy aggro.
They draw tons of fire, yes.
So yeah, basically you want to put your turret somewhere out of the way because the enemies will prioritize it.
Yeah, it's very helpful though.
Yeah. This
And you're bleeding out pretty fast at this point because it's going to be touch and go.
Hold still.
that was pretty close.
Agent Weaver, where are you?
Best I can do, Commander.
Up this way. He's in here.
Yeah, I had to pop to the little objective things. I couldn't. There's a couple ways in and out of this room.
Let's stay together here.
Oh my god, all those objects on the ground. Those physics objects on the ground all used to have collision. You could get some pretty gnarly bugs with those where they would jam doors and do all sorts of horrible things. The only ones that remain that way, I believe, is the trash cannon prelude, where you can roll into the trash can at a very specific angle and get it mounted on your torso as armor.
You found him.
He's not in there anymore. Just an empty shell.
Maybe the doctors can...
No more. He's already been through so much. No more experiments. His suffering ends now.
Well, organ is a death with dignity
I'm going
state,
to shut
so...
these machines off. Then he can finally be at peace.
Now, this is legal.
I'm nice.
No one should have to do that to their own family. Let me take this one, Angie.
I don't know.
I should.
Angela,
I view this,
I know how you
personally,
feel right
as
now.
the asshole
Trust
response.
me.
Your family.
Yeah.
Okay, Will. Okay.
I view this as the jerk response, is telling her that you're going to do it, because, I mean, it's her brother. She should be the one to kill him, right? So take a good look at Pete.
Yeah.
There's a funny thing about this model. The contractor who
what
built
Pete
this
would've
model, the description for the model was basically we need a youngish middle-aged human, naked.
Hang on one sec.
Access will pay. Goodbye, Petey.
That one's mine.
That's a tonal shift right there, Angela.
Yeah, we didn't.
Oh, well.
They forgot to record an actual line for that, so we just threw in one of the combat barks, I believe. So, funny story about that model is that the bill said just like naked, youngish, male human. The modeler modeled full detail,
naked.
full detail on all the bits, especially the dangly ones, and
Some bigger plan.
it didn't. No one noticed until
plan to change
another
us
tester,
from the inside
a
out.
friend of mine, poked his
Infect
head
our minds
through the
with this
geometry
poison
around
and we'll
Pete
just
and
walk
noticed that he
ourselves
was
right into their arms.
fully equipped. That was an interesting discussion there.
Did they ever take it out, or is it just
Oh
something
yes,
on their machinery?
oh yes. We immediately had to
this is
edit
just
the
them
model
preparing.
because that would have been a serious
I
problem.
bet Axis does. And if we can
2K
restrain
is
ourselves
not
from giving
very
the bastard what he
has
deserves,
let's
we
see
might get
say
an
has
answer to the
absolutely
question.
zero sense of humor
Understood.
about that kind of thing after hot
Distribution
coffee.
chamber.
Risk
Go
averse,
on
I
and
get
ask
it.
your questions.
Yeah, Hot Coffee still reaches forward back from the mists of time, all the way from Take-Two in New York, all the way through 2K Publishing in Nevada, into each and every studio, ensuring that no one will ever see dangly bits or boobs. Ever. Unless it's specifically
Rated for it. And this is all another optional area.
You get some Axis shit talk in here, which is always great. You get some totally sweet, glowy crap.
Oh yeah. And a useless backpack.
The Reaper Pack. Yeah, it's a
If
great
an enemy's already at low health, they're
Yeah.
about to die anyway, so why do I need
That-
more damage?
It can help in certain circumstances against really tough
Something.
enemies, but it's rarely a good choice. It has such
God,
a good
I-
name, and it's just not really worth using.
Yeah. You down with HPP?
Walk it off! Take it down!
I love the pistol
That's
so
your
much.
target. It's mine!
Whoops, there's another deficiency of our grenade code in here.
Yeah, occasionally they stick to the ceiling,
Yep.
which I don't mind.
Aliens do
Don't
not
bother me.
do not check ceiling geometry when they throw grenades. We were just the leveled architects and designers are basically just told ceilings have to be this high, and sometimes there's stuff hanging down, and they'll lob a grenade and it'll stick onto that.
It's uncommon.
Yeah, it's fairly uncommon. It occasionally happens. Most areas in the game have a much higher ceiling than this, so it's usually not a problem.
Yeah, this is one of the more claustrophobic levels.
Whoop.
Hey, agents, how you doing?
Yeah, that's the leashing algorithm in place. Someone in the thread was mentioning that they kept trying to tell the agents to go somewhere, and the agents wouldn't go somewhere. And that's because we have a leashing algorithm for the agent. Oh, look! Who's that up there?
There's a blue thing up there.
It's Angela! Yeah, that's right. It's Angela. She's climbed through the air vents and is playing Sam
Angela,
Fisher
take
up
him
there.
down.
Oh yeah. So basically, you can
Focus
tell
on
her
this one.
to snipe dudes, and she's awesome.
She is extremely good
Stem's
at
ready.
shooting people in this encounter.
Focus on that one. This one's mine.
Very useful to have.
She basically has an infinite use critical strike ability, which is has a
Yeah,
pretty low cooldown.
Position.
Yeah, it's like, what, 13, 14 seconds? That's nothing.
Get behind that!
I want to take cover on the west side of this little encounter space.
We originally had some enemies that spawned up there with her so that she couldn't be available for the player all the time, but that caused some pretty severe problems with the AI.
Well, a couple things do get up there.
Blobs.
They don't do much. Yeah, the
Yep,
blobs.
the blobs will get up there to attack her. I don't remember exactly how we solved that. I think we might just, if everybody on the ground level is dead, we just auto-kill everything up there. Just poof, bye, dead. Yep, there they are.
There they are.
Though they are scripted to immediately jump down
We
if
need
possible,
some rockets now.
because it's not good to have one up there. This is a state in which it's entirely possible for Angela's AI to go crazy and not work anymore. And that also means she won't be killing any enemies, which is a problem. They stay up there to counter enemies.
Lifting!
It was not purely reasonable.
Blob out!
Friendly turret and
Good for that rocket turret, bullseyeing the tech commander.
oh yeah.
The lifted rocket turret, as you can see, is quite useful,
Well,
but if you're standing
you
near
can
it,
see it's already gone. The enemies
Yeah.
blew it right up there. So
don't stand near that turret. Enemies love throwing grenades at turrets, too, which is...
Attack!
So again, that's why you want to put your shields on them if you can.
Or your shield spheres, or I believe someone will get the ability later, but there is a personal shield skill that one class has, which is akin to what the elites and
The
commanders
commando,
have.
the
Yes.
commandos. We saw it earlier, but I chose the plasma field instead. The commandos can
yes.
put extra shield on a
Thank you,
turret,
Agent Weaver.
Just doing my
and
job.
engineers later on get a skill that allows their turrets to just have more health.
And I believe... Oh, there it is. Fortified turrets. Turrets deployed
Oh
with
yeah,
shield.
exactly.
Yes.
But the other option is make everyone do more damage against mechanical enemies. So slightly tougher turrets or
That's
damage
a
buff
difficult
against...
choice.
I usually go against mechanical because I want to kill drones as fast as possible.
It's an honorable goal.
Now, what other enemies qualify as mechanical? Sectopods?
Almost definitely. I think anything that has... Well, not anything that has armor. Drones, gunships, that might be it. Enemy turrets. Enemy turrets count.
Okay, that's
I believe
that's worth it.
it might be correlated with scan descriptions, but I'm not sure. I know we didn't check that. As in whether it was correlated with the scan descriptions or not. But, you know. Oh, look, a weapon locker? We must have another combat encounter coming up.
You, need a minute, Angela.
Let's put an end to this.
Nah, I'm good. Just got my murder on. Everything's fine.
Ah, she's like in a perfect mood to murder.
Yeah, she's all, you know. Oh, yeah.
And she's
Okay.
crazy.
Welcome to one of the coolest boss fight arenas in this game.
It is pretty great. That's a sweet helmet.
Oh, it is. It is. So, funny note about Axis. This is actually the model we originally had for all the commanders. This became the unique model for Axis, but it used to be the same model as all. It used to be the standard commander model.
Power is
Take out
coming
that
from
shield.
something inside
Where's
those
he powering it
bunkers.
from?
We've got to
So,
shut them down.
this is a rule of 3 boss. You gotta head to
Power's
each of
coming
the
from
3
something
sections,
inside
press a
those
button to
3
disable the
bunkers.
shield, then you can get access.
This, like most rule of 3 bosses, also, if you try to rush this,
That's your target!
it will either work perfectly, or it will kill you instantly. Your choice. If you're
The
fast
blaster
enough,
launchers, making short work of turrets.
yeah. The speedrun strat for this boss, if you will, is to say, screw you agents, pick a personal shield on your commando, personal shield Carter, and just run like a fucking madman. Hit all 3 consoles, whack Axis in the head 3 times with a plasma pistol or whatever, or however many times you have to with a plasma pistol. You shouldn't need that many. And then the mission will be over once you kill him. If you
is
screw
a
this
high,
up-
high risk thing though, because
It is
a lot of other stuff
extraordinarily
is
high risk.
going to spawn in.
Yeah.
A lot of incredibly difficult to kill stuff.
If, you know, everybody's played video games, obviously pushing the button makes more enemies spawn. So, the spawns will actually be a little delayed because we do have hard and fast rules as how many AI can be active at a time, but this area actually breaks that rule. There's like 1 or 2 more enemies than we should have active at one point in this map, in this area, but since we can stream out the entire rest of the level, it actually is okay on memory. For the consoles. PC, obviously doesn't matter at all.
And I get a new toy.
You do. You get a friendly drone.
Oh, yeah. Super
Unfortunately, this thing
useful.
draws
An
fire
armored
just
drone
like the
provides
turret does,
excellent
but
combat
it's
support,
definitely
That is a
over
good
cover,
thing to
and
do.
flanking enemies from above.
Is this an advanced drone or a regular drone? I can't
This is
remember.
a regular drone. You
Yeah.
don't get the advanced one until like level 7 or 8, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
Now, this
Death above.
demonstrates just how much damage a Muton can do at close range.
So,
Let's
I'm
see.
interested to see what you're going to do on this guy, because there is an objectively correct strategy for this moment right here.
I'm probably
And you're not doing it.
I
Yeah,
should
you're
have
not
lifted
doing
him right here, because it...
No, actually. The strategy you should do right here is what you should do is tell Angela to shoot, tell Quartermass to weaken, and then pull out your heavy plasma pistol and dot him in the head, and that will kill him. And that would have killed him inside 5 seconds.
Well, I did weaken him.
But again, you did, but it was a little late on the draw. If you'll
And you
notice,
see how he
Weaken
went
knocked off
straight
all the armor
for
on his
it.
torso.
Let's try this again.
Again, those armor knockoff things are great.
I'll never be your slave.
Ding!
But again, if you have the blaster launcher, Mutons are really not too much of a threat.
Fortunately, yes. There's at least one weapon that makes them not much of a threat.
The prisoner. What does that mean?
Well, it's old British TV series. I rather liked it myself.
I loved it. Yeah, advice to everyone watching this: go watch The Prisoner. It's only like 13 episodes.
Yeah, don't
It's great.
watch the remake that was done in the 2000s. Watch the
Yeah,
original,
don't.
which was done in the 80s? I guess it must have been the 80s.
No, it was late 60s.
It was late 60s? Good God, I
yeah,
assume everything.
it was like one of the first shows in color.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yes. So yeah, everybody, watch that version of
make
The
good
Prisoner.
use of
It's
color,
really
too.
good.
I love this balcony. It's a good
Patrick
battle
Lagoon.
balcony.
Who is,
Oh, man.
We need some rockets.
it's probably the only thing he ever did that was good, but damn, was it good.
It was. He went completely batshit during the course of it, though.
He did. The final episode of the show, actually, he embezzled the budget.
Well, it was written, directed. He did the sound, and he basically had complete creative control. And it is.
It's not really that he had complete creative control. They were trying to shut the show down, and he embezzled the money to do it and secretly did it.
Got it.
He did it without the BBC's approval or control. That's why he had complete control over it. He just kept lying to them about what he was doing. And then then he just produced it out of nowhere and was like, yo, I got another episode for you that'll tie up this series that you so badly want to cancel. And they kind of went, okay, it can't be that bad, can it? And then it happened. And you just plain unbelieved that guy.
I'm surprised that my drone has lasted this long.
Yeah, I am too, actually. The enemy should be shooting him more. I think it's just because he's so far outside the engagement area for them that...
Yeah, he's floating around and he moves a little bit, so he's a little harder to hit. So.
Angela, take him down.
And you mentioned that my agents can't really shoot drones that well. I guess the reverse also applies.
Yes.
There he goes.
Yes, the reverse does apply. That's correct. It's just that they have a very, very hard time hitting aerial targets.
Throwing a blob.
Ooh, one of your agents just ate a grenade to the face.
Yep, they'll do that. Ammo.
If the agents have the chance to respond to a grenade going for them, they have this hilarious scramble dive that they do, which works really, really well.
But the problem
Yeah.
is the grenades have a long fuse, and so they'll often run back to where the grenade is.
Yes, I believe it changed the fuse at some point and didn't change the dodge, and that's why that happens.
I've seen it happen several times.
Yeah.
If you play through the game, it'll happen to you at least once.
It'll happen at least once, but the end result is, yeah, your agents are fairly vulnerable to grenades. Which I think is a necessary compromise, because with good situational awareness, the player is not.
Oh, yeah.
It always astonishes me that anybody ever thinks that a third-person shooter or a cover shooter can get away without a dodge roll. I don't understand who these people are that think that, or why they think it. Because if you have a game with grenades, and you have a game where you can lock the player in a location, yeah, you need a way to get away from something fast. Tomb Raider had an interesting, the new one, had an interesting sort of compromise on that front, the little scramble thing, which worked really well. I thought it was goofy as hell, and I hated it when I started playing the game, but by the time I had gotten all the way through, I really did appreciate it. Thought it was quite a nice little substitute for a dodge roll.
Yeah, my agents took out that muton for me. Good work, boys.
Yeah, once your agents get, level 5, level 4, level 5, your agents actually start becoming competent enough to take care of stuff on their own without you even telling them to sometimes.
I'm really looking forward to when my engineers get their next weapon. Won't be for a while, but
yes.
I'm kind of tired of the scatter laser at this point. It's not good beyond 5 meters.
Yeah, the engineer weapons, the engineer weapon tree progression is kind of shit. So is the pistol progression.
Most classes only get like 3 weapons over the course of the game. I think the Commando get like 4. Yeah,
Commandos get 4. Recon gets like 2. Just 2. No, 3.
Yeah.
No, 2. It's just 2.
Yeah, they only get 2 guns.
Right, they only get 2.
They get their sniper rifle, then they get their much better sniper rifle,
which is quite a sight to see. when you get a full level recon with the final sniper rifle, it's quite a thing. They're a force of nature.
Speaking of which, I think we might see that next video.
That early? Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Alive!
Oh, man.
All your efforts are for nothing.
It's a nice backhand, though.
Angela, we've got everything we need.
No, we don't.
Shh.
We just got him.
Let her have her revenge.
We are not defeated.
Little crazed visor there.
Isn't for nothing.
So, yeah, thanks, Angela.
It's okay. We got what we needed.
Carter said we had it, so we must have everything. It's totally fine.
Carter, we approve of your covering for Agent Weaver.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yes, for some reason, I got the plasma sniper rifle in this mission. I don't know why, but I have it now, so
you automatically
sweet.
get it. You automatically get it because this is the first appearance of elite snipers, and you're supposed to be able to pick it up, but the only elite snipers in this mission actually drop after the,
well, anyway,
the top. You can't
join me for the next video, and I'll see you guys next time.